going to take two or three from the floor, but I wanted to just start with one question. You've been talking about revolution for quite a long time now, since the first it came to prominence with the sort of Newsnight piece. And one of the things that I thought was being very interesting is that people seem to have missed your point that you're not advocating yourself as the leader of it.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Has it felt like a disappointment that there is still a constant need for someone to be a leader of this revolution?
Yeah, I suppose, what I think is that, I've done a show, Messiah Complex, about sort of iconic figures like Malcolm X and Che Guevara and Christ and Gandhi. And because they exemplify such incredible human values, we get sort of excited about those figures. But the reality is those human values exist in humans. We all have access to that kind of behaviour, that kind of bravery. And in fact, behind every Che Guevara or Gandhi or Malcolm X, there's millions of people that are sacrificing their lives and fighting for the cause. And whilst it's interesting, it's important, I suppose, to have icons and symbols and signs that enable us to tell stories and to present information. The fact is that any significant movement has got to be everybody, or a considerable number of people. So it's accessing the leader within yourself. Now, sort of what I think I can do is what I've just been doing is with the housing crisis that's in London, when people are organising to confront greedy landlords, like at the New Era estate in Hoxton, it's owned by the brother of Richard Benyon, who is the richest MP in our country, and they're turfing out the residents so they can earn yet more profit. They already make a profit. I think, their campaign at the moment can only go so far, but I can make it go further by doing what I can do. Any of us can contribute in what you have to. What I believe is, if you find something that's local to you, that's relevant to you, maybe someone in your family is affected by a particular disease, or you'll suddenly become aware of the NHS, or someone near you is affected by a housing issue, and you're like, oh right, I can do something about that. And and what I recommend, and what I think will be powerful, Sunil, is if you go right. Instead of writing a letter to your MP, or not instead as well as if you want, you can also do that. Think, well, how can we organise and be involved in creative direct action? That's what I endorse, creative direct action. Do you know what I've discovered in my own life? A lot of people will do what's easiest, so you just have to make it hard for them to do what they want to do. The people that own that estate, they want to make more profit. So what we have to do is make that the hardest thing for them to do, because then they will realise that's the wrong decision. We make it hard for them to make that profit by organising, So with the fire brigade, with them cutting all their wages, cutting the services, if something's pretty vital, if as soon as you're on fire, you won't think, I want 20% less water on my burning leg. You're realising that moment is important. So you have to make it hard, let's make it impossible for them to cut those services by supporting the fire brigade, by not thinking in sort of short, there is fucking money. There's trillions and trillions of dollars, billions of pounds pumped into propping up an economy which is meant to be defined by capitalist creeds, survival of the fittest. They already have bailouts, they already have socialism, but just socialism for the rich. So, no, it's not this is an important point, I think. It's not like David Cameron's actually evil. You know what I mean? He's just a bloke in a position, and that position, it vibrates on the frequency of selfishness and greed. So if you put me there, or any of us, it's not like some magical individual's going to unicorn us out of trouble.
Yeah.
If a system's built on greed and selfishness, that's what's going to perpetuate it. So really what you need is different structures, different ideology. The heroic individuals are transient.
Perfect. So, questions from the floor. We've got microphones around, so we can come to them. We've got gentlemen just down here. With a fist bump on his shirt.
Oh, it's a Free Palestine shirt. Russell, would you consider yourself an English Che Guevara, as you kind of look like him already?
Thanks, because one of the things that's good about Che Guevara is he looks fucking cool. But he's a complex figure, Che Guevara. Sort of the Cuban Revolution in its immediate aftermath had some serious shades of homophobia, and I think they were a bit brutal in some areas. So he's a perfect example. He was a brilliant icon. He was fucking knees deep in revolution. But for a time like now, he's a military figure, a military leader. Interesting, from an aristocratic background, got stuck in with the revolution. You've got to admire him for that. There's loads of things to admire about him. So those admirable qualities, including the hair and beard, I would certainly like to emulate, but not the homophobia and brutal murders. But I think it's possible, isn't it, to admire something about someone, but then not, say that you're endorsing everything.
Yeah, I think the notion that you would wholeheartedly say, I will be the English Che Guevara is frightening on many levels.
Because of the killing.
Exactly that. Other questions in the room? We've got a question down here.
Hi Russ. Why haven't you given the book away for free?
Well, at the beginning of the process, it's like, it's interesting. What is it that people want from me? Like, is it that I've got to become a saint? Is it like I've got to give up the Converse trainers, the necklace, the finding women attractive? It's like, if you say I think things could be better, people go, shut the fuck up till you're perfect. But I only said better. So I'm not demanding absolute perfection. I'm talking about the 85 people that are the 85 people that have got as much wealth as the poorest 50% of the planet, 3.5 billion. There's clearly room for improvement there. The 5 families in our country that have as much wealth as the 12 million poorest people in our country, there's clearly room for improvement. I'm not saying, right, them 5 families have taken all their money, they've got to go and live in a gulag every morning when they wake up, I'm going to kick the shit out of them and fuck them in front of their parents, right? It's like, how about we take 30% of their money and redistribute it? So with me, as I go down, isn't it better that I do this book? It's voluntary to buy it. People here will know how to get it for nothing. The fucking people that work at Twitter already. This is what I mean. It's not hard if you're that kind of a person. If anyone ever wanted it for nothing and I was available to do it, I'd sort them out. But isn't it more important that the profits that come from this book, I'm using to set up social enterprises to get drug addicts back into work and setting up business models in vital areas such as food, maintenance, where people are not going to become swindled and capitalistically distracted. So what I think it's it ain't perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm a bloke. I'm a fucking bloke from Grays, like you. I'm trying my best. If every single person who opens their mouth and says, should we try and be better, they go, nah, fuck off, you're not perfect, then things stay the same, do you see?
But why not publicise the fact that you're using the profits for those things?
Right, now that's an important question.
Because
that is an important... Who does the publicising? Do I run The Guardian? Do I run The Sun? Right, that's why, mate. That's why. I've said it. I've said it now, but people aren't interested in that narrative.
No, because they can write it off because you released a book which has a £20 RRP, months before Christmas, that is the kind of anti-capitalist People's Revolution book. I'm reading it, it's unbelievably good, but to get it out there and to get the message out there, people would just write you off by saying he's got a book out for Christmas. Not a book that can make a difference.
People will write you off if they want to write you off. But the point you made was interesting, is why don't you publicise that the profits are going to... But I am publicising it, but people won't print that message, because if they print that message, they'll have to go, oh, Russell's like an alright guy who's trying his best. So they don't publish that. They don't publish in the articles. There's loads of talk about how to set up cooperatives, different taxation models, debt cancellation models. They just go, oh, it's just a load of spouting, it's just rambling. Do you know what I mean? Because what I'm saying is true. Yeah. What I am saying is true. So it's not about me. I'm irrelevant. I'm just a bloke who's gonna die. That's it, right? So but I can't bring down the way that media works on my own. Media will find a way to destroy anything that challenges hegemony because they want to preserve it. They don't want people reading this book. Look, I'm not yet perfect. That's the answer, because I'm not fucking perfect. I'm not fucking perfect. All right? When I'm if you're looking for a perfect guy, carry on with a